Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, respected sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, participants. I welcome all of you to the day 4 of our FDP program. Today's speaker is Dr. G. Raghavendra, Assistant Professor from NIT Warangal. So it's my immense pleasure to welcome Dr. G. Raghavendra, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So before going to start the session, I will give a brief introduction about the Dr. G. Raghavendra, sir. So, sir has obtained Master of Technology MTech from National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, India in 2010, and sir obtained Doctor of Philosophy PhD from National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, India 2015. Sir has did his PhD thesis on mechanical and tribology behavior of nanofiller reinforced polymer nano composites. Coming to sir professional experience, sir is working as assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Warangal, Telangana, India, from 2013 December to till date. Coming to sir's PhD thesis supervision, 3 PhDs were supervised and 9 PhDs were ongoing. Coming to sir's research grants, sanctioned DST CERT ECR project of rupees 37.1 lakhs in 2016, and the project name is Fabrication and Characterization of Porous Nano Carbon from Activated Bio Waste for Tribological and Structural Applications. So sir has established different laboratories like Composites Lab, Tribology Lab, Nano Materials Lab. Coming to sir's awards or recognitions or achievements, sir has received more than 11 awards. Some of them were Ganesh Mishra Memorial Award, selected by the Institution of Engineers, Orissa Government. Sir Early Career Research Award by DST Government of India. Young Scientist Award, the Venus International Research Award, VIRA, Best Research Finding in Composites in 2016. Young Engineer of the Year Award in 2008 from Institute of Engineers, India, Telangana in 2018. Best Paper Award, IP DIMS in 2020. In May 1780 from NIT Rourkela, for the best presentation. Coming to Sir's list of publications were, Sir has published 40 SCI journals, 12 Scopus journals, and 17 other reputed journals, 60 research papers in national and international journals, 13 big chapters in Scopus indexed. Coming to Sir's editorial board member of Science Letters, Composite Materials, Science Publication Group, Amity Journals of Research, Innovation and Commercialization, American Journal of Mechanical Engineering, and in International Journal of Current Research in Engineering, Science and Technology, IJCREST. So now I request Dr. G. Raghavendra sir to start the session, and I request all the participants kindly mute your mic and you can take your session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Raghavendra. First of all, I'll share my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir. Okay.
Yeah, my presentation topic is about fabrication and tribological characterizations of nano composites. So my presentation outlines, it starts with like introduction to materials, nano composite materials, fabrication of composites, and mechanical properties and tribological properties. So I planned my lecture in such a way that slight introduction to the materials and what is nanomaterials and how we can prepare the nanomaterials and what are the different fabrication techniques available for the composite materials. After fabrication of the composites, what kind of test we can do to characterize those composites, like mechanical characterizations and tribological characterizations, and the relations related to like how the properties vary based upon the filler composition, filler materials. So I'm not again going deep and talking about the history of composites or about the composite definitions, classifications, all those things. Because earlier speakers, when I go through their titles, many of them already talk about green composites and advanced composites, functional composites. So again, I don't want to start with the basic terms of composites. Slightly to just, it's a new day. So we start with again slight introduction about that within a few minutes, and again we'll start to start discussing about the nano composites. So just for a classification of materials, basically everybody starts with the classification of materials. They starts with engineering materials. So even the textbooks, whatever the textbooks which we see, we follow. In that, basically, they starts with engineering materials. But why particularly I start with the classification of materials? The basic classification starts with natural materials and man-made materials. So you can see it here. In the nature, whatever the material which are available, that are called natural materials. From the ancient times, we have a natural materials. That time when man won't have the technology, they used these natural materials. And like, for example, like mud, wood, skins, bones, stones. So all these are naturally available. These materials, they used for their daily applications. But after that, when that civilization started, when people started developing the materials, man started developing the new materials from different type of metals, refined woods, and alloys, and start developing the polymers and ceramics. And again, there are sub classifications. I don't want to go deep into the plastics sub classifications and the metallic sub classifications. So the basic classification starts with two terms, like a natural materials and a man-made materials. So this slide particularly talks about like what are the different engineering materials that regularly we see, like metals, plastics, ceramics, and composites. So why particularly I restricted my engineering materials up to composites and these terms. So these are interconnected. Why specifically I had placed like this are like the metals. Basically, we start with the metals, ferrous and non-ferrous and amorphous, and the plastics. The plastics like thermoplastics, thermosets, elastomers, and the ceramics. So these three terms combinations gives you composites. So we can merge, combine metals and plastics, or metals and ceramics, or else plastics and ceramics, or plastics and metals. So when we combine all these terms with the different compositions, then we'll get a composites. So that's why the names you can see it like a reinforced plastics. The plastic terms is coming here. Metal matrix composites, metals are coming here. Ceramics matrix composites, ceramics are coming here. So in a composites, when we combine these metals, plastics, and ceramics, we have a composite. So we'll see deep into it. So like as might talk about like materials technology and classification of materials, it starts very important. Why first we need to know about materials. Once we know about the materials, to understand what is material, then we need to understand what is properties. So if we don't know the properties, then we don't understand a material. We don't analyze the material. So to analyze any type of a material, to understand that behavior of the material, then we need to know about the properties of the material. So the second concept is importance is a materials properties. So the properties, when talks about the properties, again we need to see the classification. Coming to the classification of the properties, basically everyone will start with studying physics and chemistry. So physical properties, chemical properties. After that, when specifically after intermediate, then we'll go to the different branches. Then we'll start about mechanical engineering, so mechanical properties, electrical engineering, electrical properties, electronics. The different based on the specializations and branches will have a different properties. So as particularly the terms are related to mechanical part, so I'm talking more about mechanical materials properties like the strength, toughness, hardness, ductility, elasticity, fatigue and creep, and many more. So we have many mechanical properties, some physical properties, and some chemical properties. Once you know for any material like a metal, a plastic, a ceramics, or a composites, if you know the properties, the mechanical properties, physical properties, and chemical other properties, then you can understand the behavior of the material and you can easily show applications to that material. That is a main objective, to know about the properties of the materials. So coming to the straight like composites, what are the fundamental considerations required when we talk about composites? So when you talk about composites, first the terms will how composites are different from other engineering materials. So we started with engineering materials. So how these are different with engineering materials like metals, plastics, ceramics. Why specifically composites? How it is different with that? That is a one first basic concept. And what are the different constituents of this composites and how their properties are compared. So that is the second one. Third one is what advances and technologies involved in these composites and how composites are manufactured. So these are the basic terms, fundamental considerations required when you talk about composite. So many speakers earlier already talk about composites. So here, like I'll stress only one term. Basically, whenever we go to the definition of a composite, so we'll say like it's a combination of a two or more materials. So we'll come to that, like what's the difference between an alloy and a composite. We'll talk it. So this is a one definition given by one of the Professor Bando Padaya from Australia. He said like what is a composite means it's a ceramics, other materials, polymers, overall bonded for strong infrastructure and tough engineering applications. So you can see that he divided the COMPOSIT as a different terms, and then they name it as a ceramics, other metals, polymers, other overall strong infrastructure, tough engineering applications. So this particular slide, why I focused, why I given is this is a slide modified which is available in the online. So to know the composite technology, because from ancient times we have a composites, all the technologies, all the terms we are using from the ancient times, but few terms, few names came into existence later. So such type of terms like the composites exactly comes into the picture in 1940s. The people start using the woods and fabrics to develop the different structures. After that, in the Industrial Revolution, so 1940s to 1960s, after the Second World War, the people start using low aluminum alloys with a different series of 2024 and 7075, and they start developing the composites, the materials, and replacing the woods and fabrics. After that, in 1970s to 1990s, different type of alloys, along with that, some glass fibers, combination of fibers. So you can see it here, the trend is changing. Earlier, we started with the natural materials. That natural materials changes to metals. After metals, again, we have a polymers and fiberglasses. The fiberglasses in 20s, we'll have a carbon composites. So more number of carbon composites. Now, if you see in the online, we'll see more number of natural fiber composites. Many are working on natural fiber composites. Why? Again, like it's a cycle. Life is a cycle. So we'll always go back. So we started with natural materials and we invented new type of materials and new technologies, new terminologies. After that, again, we are turning back to natural materials. Nowadays, many of the slogans, if you see, don't use plastic, remove plastic, reduce plastic, go to biodegradable materials and go to natural materials. So nowadays, we are more using natural materials. So that's why I prefer this slide, like given this slide. So you can see it. Now people are working on more on natural fiber hybrid composites, nano composites, to develop this, even on bioglasses. So the trend is changing. That is a term. Again, I don't want to stress about the composite definition. It's a combination of reinforcements and a matrix gives you composites. Or simple terms, two or more materials gives you a composite. The similar definition, if you see in the textbooks, like alloy, two or more metals combination gives you an alloy. So what is the difference between an alloy and a composite? Why we are calling as a composite and why we are calling a separate as an alloy? So here the terms are when two metals are mixed or combined, if the two metals lose the basic properties, original properties, and then form a new structure, new material, which having a new properties, then we call that as an alloy. In a composite, when we combine these two materials or metals, then they combined as a physically and they don't change their original properties. They act as a single material, but their properties remain same. So that is a basic difference between an alloy and a composite. So some examples, like here in the pictures, you can see the mud straw bricks, concrete, and glass fiber composites. So as I said, like again, the classification of a composites, it will be like based upon a matrix and based upon a reinforcements. Because quickly I'm going all those terms because to just last 3 days people are talking about composites. So just for an to brush up those terms, I'm talking about it. So it have a matrix and reinforcement. So in the matrix, it's like we can use metals, polymers, and ceramics. It's a continuous phase. This will be bonding all the fibers. It will combine all the fibers and allows the material. It always transfers the load. This matrix won't carry any type of a load. Always it transfer a load. The reinforcements always carry the load. That is a difference between a matrix and a reinforcement. Reinforcement always carries the load. Whatever the load which we apply, that load will be carried by the reinforcements. And whatever the matrix, that always transfers the load. That is the difference between a matrix and a reinforcement. Some commercially available forms of reinforcements, which we have like a random and bidirectional or directional woven fabrics, like a glass fibers. When I talk about the glass fibers, people who are not working on particular composites or who are in the starting stage of a composites, then obviously they will start thinking about it's a glass, how it will be used as a woven fabrics and how it is fabricated and what is the strength. It's a brittle material and why people are using that brittle material into this composite, how it is giving the strength. So those doubts will start arising in their minds. So that's why like I want to show this glass fiber, particularly why I pasted the picture is to see that the glass fiber is available in terms of a cloth. It's like a small fibers. So this is a carbon fiber. Now I'll show what are the different type of fibers which are available, which we can add into the make a composites. So we can make party plates. We can make unidirectional. So all fibers are in the same direction. You can see this direction. So all fibers are that unidirectional, but it is discontinuous. You can see the gaps. So these are discontinuous. These are random. It discontinuous. All are discontinuous, but these are random. There is no preferred direction. So we call as a random oriented fibers. And these are unidirectional continuous fibers. So all are in the same continuous fibers. So there is no discontinuity. Here discontinuity, discontinuous fibers, continuous fibers. And this is a cross ply, because we can see like shirts which we have right now, t-shirts or cloth. Those cloths we have a bidirectional fiber, one direction, another direction, 0 and 90 degrees. And sometimes if based upon the applications, we go for a multiple directions, like multiple direction fibers. So multiple orientations. And these are the reinforcements, and the matrix will combine the matrix and add to this reinforcements and make the composites. So as I said, bidirectional, unidirectional, and tridirectional. You can see these are the fibers are in a unidirectional fibers. So whenever you are applying any type of a load, if you place a fiber like this, when you apply a load in that direction, then we get a maximum tensile strength. If you apply the opposite direction, in this direction the load, then the fibers are not in that direction. The load which we are applying in the opposite direction, then automatically we don't get a strength. So that is a concept. So if you are particularly specifically applying in only one direction, then if you are applying a tri-direction, this, and in a z direction also, then this is called tri-directional materials. So these are the different type of fibers which can be used for reinforcements. Like whenever we start like selecting any type of a material, either we choose ASBE charts for a process. For fabrication, we go for a process charts, ASBE charts for material selection. So similarly for a composites, there is no such type of a charts. There is no terms. Some people use 10% reinforcement, some people use 9%, some people use 10%, 10.5. So people, based upon their availability, based upon their thoughts, they're using different things. So there is no particular data or particular details available for the materials. Only things.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible, sir? Dear participants, sorry, I think there were network issues.
Hello. Hello. Voice audible?
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. हाँ, sir.
Yeah, is the voice audible? Sorry, there is a network issue.
Okay.
Is the screen visible now?
Just a minute, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can.
Sorry. Yeah. So we don't have a clear charts for the composites. So we'll develop some charts for that, like the reinforcements, like glass fibers. These glass fibers are suitable for thermosets and thermoplastics we can use. Some rubber composites we can use. Some cement materials we can use. So these are suitable for these type of materials. The blast fibers, the carbon fibers, ceramide fibers, boron fibers. These fibers are suitable to the different type of matrix materials. So that by this chart directly we can understand what type of reinforcements and for which matrix those are suitable. So like this slide tells you like how the glass fibers are prepared. So as I said, people who don't know about the glass fibers are extracted from the glass by melting it to a liquid state and then extracting those fibers from the glass and then making a cloth type of bidirectional materials. This is a glass fabrication. The color is a clear color. So by melting the material and then they extract those fibers and then they use as a cloth material. So those composites, we can use it as a unidirectional, bidirectional and tridirectional composites. Along with that, we can go for a hybridization.
Hello, sir. Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Having a less strength when compared to the carbon fiber. So those terms also we can use. So these are some composites like bamboo mats, glass, bamboo and glass fibers. 1 minute. Hello. Hello.
Haan, sir.
Is it voice is clear or is there any issue?
Sir, I think due to network issues, it is getting stuck, sir. It is not proper, sir.
Okay. Is it now okay? Like,
Sir? It is very low, sir. Unable to hear. Hello, sir. Sir, orange once log out and get logged in, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, are you there, sir?
Hello.
Haan, sir.
Is now voice okay?
Yes, sir. It is okay, sir, now.
Yeah, thank you. Again, sorry, like due to power issues, there is yeah, we're talking about like composites, like hybrid composites. So in the hybrid composites, we can use a bamboo mat and then glass and the combination of a bamboo and glass. So this is called a hybrid composites. So some filler composites, if you use some filler materials like the metallic powders, different type of aluminum, carbon, magnesium, and titanium dioxide, zirconium dioxide. So those type of fillers we can use as a filler composite. So that we call as a filler materials. So as a topic is about the nano composites. So we'll start discussing like about the nano materials. So whenever we are reinforcing any type of a material which are in the nano level, then we call that as a nano composite. So we'll see like basically nano means it's a 10 to the power of -9. It is 10 to the power of -9. Then people might have a doubt like how this nano composites will be developed and what are the materials, how it will be developed. So we'll see that before going to a nano level, nano zone. So first we'll see the small comparison of the nano materials of the nano size. So like the nano materials, I'll start comparing with the largest star, VVHFI. It's almost 1900 times bigger than the sun's diameter. And again, the comparison with the sun diameter and Earth, it is 342 times. And a meter shell, it will be like 12,756,000 times comparatively. When you see the different materials which are in the micro level, that is a penny coin, a raindrop, the least material which we can see with our eyes is our hair's diameter. Our hair diameter, which is 100 microns, that is the least size which we can see with our eyes. So below that size, we can't see with our eyes. We need certain microscopes or a scanning electron microscope or advanced electron microscopes so that we can see that